Hi, this is my name is Coach. I'm Heather. Today I want to talk to you about body image and some quick things, some quick dumb things. I think I have a unique perspective on body image and on exercise and how that impacts your sense of self and my experience being a smaller person and then becoming a bigger person because of exercise and not because of typical weight gain, like the typical reason that people gain weight. It's very unique to my experience, so I'm going to talk about it. Most people don't gain weight when they start working out, but I did. So here's how it works. Because I'm a power lifter. So I started powerlifting. So I've always been fairly active. I was in track in high school. I was in cross country a couple of years. I've always consistently done some kind of exercise over the years. And in 2014, I started powerlifting. So when I started powerlifting, I did not know any other women who powerlifted. I didn't even think it was a thing. I just thought that I was a weird woman doing this thing that no one else does. And I was fairly skinny. I wouldn't say I was scrawny, but I was thin. I was a slim person when I was 30. And for most of my life, I was a fairly slim person. So, what was surprising to me is that powerlifting made me a bigger person. Most people expect exercise to make them smaller and your body takes up less space. That is the expectation with exercise. But powerlifting did not do that and generally does not do that. Most male powerlifters, for example, are fairly big. Are they huge? Some of them. Are they bigger than the average guy? Yes. So, however, because of the way hormones are for women, the expectation is that when you become a powerlifter, you might not, and generally would tend to not, become bigger and take up more space. But in my case, I started powerlifting when I was 30. By the time I was 32, I had 30 more pounds that I had never had before in my entire life. um, and uh, I've seen this happen in rare cases in men where they were like very skinny and then got way bigger. Um, but when it comes to women, generally the muscle acquisition, the muscle increase, the gains does change your body shape and maybe even your body type. So if you were a thin, small person, if you're powerlifting over an extended period of time, you're going to be bigger. Nobody tells you that. Uh, nobody was talking about that in 2014. I did not know. Am I saying that I wouldn't have started? No, but it was a surprise. It was a surprise. Okay, I just needed to know that I was surprised. Because many women, because of hormones, don't get that much bigger. You have to like really work at it. Something about, I don't know if it's, the stage of my age progression, my hormonal progression, or my body type. Um, but it was easy for me to gain muscle. Obviously, in the first 2 years, you're kind of like a baby. But like after that, it's just like building on top of like strength on top of strength. So, um, I just continued to be solid, to be like a farmer girl. Um, and for the most part, that's fine. I mean, it does suck to be like a bigger person than like to suddenly be this bigger person, not necessarily intentionally. Um, But like in terms of being able to just like, pick whatever random shit I want to wear and have it fit properly, that doesn't happen for powerlifting. But anyway, so yes, um, people tell you, I don't know, I think it's something that they just want white women. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a white woman thing to say to someone, like, you're not going to get bigger because you're going to get bigger. um, and I think it's a weird expectation to tell women that they won't get bigger. You actually don't know. They might. And then what? And like right now, we've got all this shit with the GLP-1s and very, very, very uh, malnourished, thin, frail, uh, a beauty standard that just happened overnight. And I want to tell you that as a millennial, someone who has watched body trends change, has watched my particular body type fall in and out of favor, I think that it's important for you to know that the curve of history will hug your curves. The curve of history will eventually favor your body type. Will it ever favor a muscle mommy? Maybe not. I don't know. I will not tell you that I can predict the future because even though a very muscular woman has never been the preferred body type, there are plenty of people in the world who find that attractive. But in terms of like this weird zeitgeist that's happening right now with very, 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 oh my God, your bones, your frail bird bones, like very frail women in the media. Um, and then like the tiniest little like tendon that people are saying looks strong, like that is not a muscle. I'm so sorry. That's like a tendon. And this is not a criticism to anyone's body. It's just like, can we be realistic about what anatomy is? Like, do you not understand what you're looking at? So, anyway, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because one, bones make hormones. If you have healthy bones, it's more likely that you will have a stability in your hormone production. Your bone density peaks between the ages of 25 and 26. So if you are doing like very restrictive dieting, know that like if you lose muscle, you lose bone. There's a connection there. So if you are on very restrictive dieting, especially when you lose weight very quickly, you lose muscle when that happens, and that means you're losing some bone. And that can affect your entire lifespan in terms of how healthy your bones are and how healthy you feel and how your hormones are functioning. Also, again, I've seen I've seen in my 40 plus years that there is always a reason to hate yourself. The media will always give you a reason why your particular body type is not attractive or is not in fashion or whatever. That is really fucking stupid and a bad litmus test for whether or not you are healthy. Health and the way you look are two different things. And by the way, my appearance on the camera is very interesting. They say the camera adds 10 pounds. I swear that this camera adds about 20 pounds. So by those standards, this camera makes me look about 200 pounds. I am not 200 pounds, full disclosure, but I look it on this camera. So even when you are talking about like the thing that you're viewing yourself through, a camera, for example. Camera lenses uh, can vary quite a bit in terms of like the lens curvature, and that changes your appearance. Look it up. You will see like how differently different cameras will make people look. So unless you are looking in a mirror that's like flat against a wall that you can step all the way back from and see yourself turning this way and that, and the lighting is really good, and you are wearing, a flattering outfit, you might not look the way you hope to look, but that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the way you look. And there could be something that is distorting your image. So you might not actually be seeing yourself from a realistic perspective. So keep that in mind. The camera is a liar. This is not a disputable thing. This is a fact. The camera will distort your image. There's not much you can do about that. And fixating on how you look through a camera is bad for you. It's clearly bad for actors, for models. It gives everybody a complex. So try not to put too much stock in it. How you look from one day to the next changes. Your weight fluctuates, your water weight fluctuates, your hormones fluctuate. This is all in flux. So in terms of like how to decide if you like the way you look or not, pick the best out of all the times you've seen yourself lately. And that's how you look. Because what is the point of trying to pick the worst? What can you do with that? Almost nothing. Because part of it is the fucking camera angle. Part of it is the time of day. Part of it is like, did you eat breakfast? There's so much. So all of this is to say, from a big girl who used to be a small girl, who is not a big girl because of anything but exercise, which is so fucking weird. Like, I cannot stress to you how counterintuitive that is, and how that flies in the face of everything I've ever been told. Um, it's kind of all bullshit. And you have to decide what matters to you. And if what matters to you is only what someone else says, what someone else thinks, what someone else dictates, you gave someone else, usually a stranger, or someone who doesn't have your well being and best interest in mind, a lot of power. And when you outsourced your power to someone else, outsourced your sense of worthiness to someone else, you lose a lot. And maybe it doesn't feel like that when you have peer pressure. But over time, you will see how much you lose. How many hours, how many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many years could have been spent improving your life, helping you get ahead in your career, or get really right mentally, or build a skill, become an artist, get really good at something, but instead you were just wondering if you look fat in the mirror. That can't be your life. Do not make the same mistake that these Gen Xers and millennials have been doing. Like, don't ruin your health, your mental health. Don't ruin, like, don't throw these years away on something that won't even matter in 10 years. I swear to God, it will not. So that's all for today, really. I think I've said it every way I can say it. Thanks for watching.